I think there's been a lot of work going on across different government departments to promote IT, use of IT in whatever we do in our lives in the country. We strategically as a country, we see IT as an enabler that will expedite our economic, social development of our population. And financial sector has been one of the earmarked sectors where we can achieve a lot with IT support. And so we've been working with the Minister of Finance, the Minister of ICT to set the ground and drive use of non-cash means to make payments across the country. So over the past, there's been a lot of work going on in terms of infrastructure. One is connectivity across the country, which we've already achieved, and then investment by the financial institutions in different solutions, IT solutions, or payment solutions that are digital. So we think where we are today, we have enough platform which can support use of non-cash means to transact across the country. So that's why, and when we looked at the uptake so far, it's not as good as would have expected. And we did, as a central bank, we did a survey last year to see what is hindering really uptake of use of non-cash means, and lack of knowledge about these products on the market was one of the biggest challenge. People not really knowing the advantages and disadvantages of using non-cash means, and the culture of cash being entrenched into our normal transactions. So we need a big drive to break that culture and open people's eyes on the advantages of using non-cash means to transact. And so we are doing this together with the financial institutions, and of course they're still doing more, trying to increase the points of sale across the country, and wherever, to the point where you can use this payment wherever you go. So as a central bank, we are not just regulating, we're also supporting in the development or modernization of our financial sector. And but we are also responsible as a central bank to provide cash. We are the provider of currency that is used across the country. So from that point of view, we see the costs associated with the use of cash, and we want to take a lead to bring in modern means of payments that will remove these costs and redeploy this money into other productive use for the country.
Definitely, there's still that notion across much of Africa of cash is king, and especially when you go to the rural side and you start explaining to someone what some of the merits are for not handling on to cash all the time. But how do you, I know this might be even a harder question, but how do you roll this out and try to explain to someone, especially in the informal sector, which is over 80% of much of the region, how do you try to explain to someone the benefits of not handling cash all the time, and what the merits are for cashless?
I think one important thing is maybe two that we can use is on the conveniency and the safety of this non-cash. So take an example. In the past, if I'm sending 100,000 to somebody in the village, I would send somebody to take this money physically, and that would take maybe a day for this money to be delivered. And when this money is delivered cash, people around will know that money has been delivered to this household, and the level of insecurity there is, and the person receiving, it depends on the amount. Yeah. It creates sort of insecurity to the person receiving this money, because most of these people are not even used to working with financial institutions. But with modern technology today, instead of taking a day to deliver 100,000 to whoever I want to send it to in the rural areas, I'll just send it in a second using my phone. Almost 8.5 million Rwandans now are registered on mobile money. So almost everybody is really able to receive money on their phone. So that convenience already can be used to show the population the advantages of using modern techniques. So you can get the money you want immediately, in seconds. You just call me, and I send the money immediately. Then the safety is that nobody will know that you've received 100,000. I'm just using this amount. So the safety issue is not there as well. Now we want to move to a level, instead of you receiving this money on your phone and go to
An agent.
mobile money agent to cash it out, just keep it on your phone, and wherever you want to buy something, you just use this money on your phone to buy whatever you want to buy. So you don't, again, have to carry cash on your pockets. So this is one of the maybe selling points we can use. It's on convenience and on security. By the end of the day, Rwandans love their country. We also put in the fact that the more we can transact using digital means, the faster the turnaround of economic activities, and therefore the better for the country GDP growth, because it's now the machine is really rolling easily. So, but not only when we talk of a GDP of a country, we are talking about individuals and we are talking about the population. So, at the end of the day, the more we embrace this modern means of payment, we are really increasing the rate at which our development and growth as an economy can be achieved, and to the benefit of everybody.
I want to take you back on the security issue, because you've given a very good example when it comes to the security. I remember parts of Uganda where they would tell you that right now, 2016, 2017, there are less highway robbers because people are using mobile money, right? And definitely that's one end of the security. But again, from your side as the regulator, when it comes to securing some of these portals, how much effort is going into that particular front to make sure that this is a trusted platform? Well, there are many platforms, but these are trusted, and the central bank is actually giving many of these a tick.
It's part of the conditions or preconditions we give to anybody coming into this industry. The issue of cybersecurity, that's very key. It doesn't mean there are no risks of security with the mobile, or I mean with modern payment means, but it's easier to deal with that because we are dealing with a few and enlightened investors who will invest in security features within their platform to protect their platforms, and therefore it's much easier to protect this money using one platform that runs all the mobile money in the country than protecting every individual keeping 100, 200,000 in their homes. So it's why there's this risk, yes, but it's much easier, and therefore we see it as better advantage than really carrying cash in your pockets, and exactly with highway robbers. Right. I just use this at individual level, but when you look at businesses moving sacks of, we are like in Rwanda, we are safe. There's good security, and we always see it as sort of a disadvantage. Why it's good, but it counters our drive to promote non-cash means, because people normally take their money, sacks of full of money, without any fear.
Because if you're walking on the streets of maybe Goma or even Kampala, you can't just walk out with cash, and maybe that is actually a deterrent to your drive as it is, the security in the country.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, is you know, when you're trying to prevent something, you avoid creating sort of incentives of something to prop up. Yeah. So we are lucky we don't have it, but the more cash is moved around and the more people get sophisticated in whatever they're doing, of course, to prop up. So we need to preempt that before it comes to our end.
Great. ATMs. In the year 2010, we just had just over 60 ATMs in the country. Fast forward to the end of 2016, over 4,000 ATMs that we are looking at in the country. Definitely the infrastructure has been set in place. Hats off on your end. But how is the adoption on the other hand?
The adoption has been really good. But maybe ATMs is good because it expedites people getting their cash instead of lining up in the banking halls. But we want to go beyond ATMs, because ATMs at the end of the day anyway you're withdrawing cash. But I can just give you numbers on ATMs. When you look at 2010, the value that was transacted over the ATMs was about 26 billion francs. And just mid this year, we had moved 459 billion francs on this ATM. So it's really the increase has been very, very big. But the area where we want to promote more is on the use of points of sale. You don't need to withdraw cash to go and buy goods from anybody. So, but this has also been growing, though still very small. But again, 2010 we only had 2.8 billion transacted on points of sale. And by mid this year, this has moved to 57 billion. So we want to see this really increasing. But maybe one other point, maybe we talk about it when we talk about the mobile money drive. We can come back to the numbers there.